Alright guys, so we are here today to talk about the Nintendo Switch Lite, finally announced. What I'd like to do is go through this article here because this guy here actually had an interview with Doug Bowser and was able to actually play the Nintendo Switch Lite and try a few games like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. So he gives his thoughts about it and everything. And also, some of the things that Doug Bowser brings up is really interesting. He talks about game sharing and everything between the Switch Lite and the OG or flagship Switch is kind of what Nintendo is calling it internally, the flagship Nintendo Switch, the original model. So that's actually pretty cool. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now, I'm going to read through not the entire thing here, but if you would like to read it on your own, it's in the description below. But I am going to read through some of his thoughts and stuff on it. Because at the very beginning of the article, he just talks more about like some of the specs and also how the 3DS isn't dead, but Doug Bowser is saying it isn't dead, but really it is dead. I mean, it's been dead for a while, especially now this is releasing at the same price point as a new Nintendo 3DS XL. So anyway, this is where his thoughts start. Let's get into this. So he says Switch Lite feels compact and solid. The Switch Lite's packaging looks brighter and so do its colors. Gray, yellow, and turquoise models will arrive September 20th when Nintendo's Zelda Link's Awakening remake hits. A limited edition Pokemon themed design with pencil-like etchings on an off-white case will be timed to launch with Pokemon Sword and Shield, but it won't come with the game. And I gotta say, I really like the Pokemon Sword and Shield color scheme the best. And then maybe like the turquoise because that's like the original Nintendo 3DS color. But anyway, he says he immediately noticed that the Lite felt more compact than the original Switch. It's about as long as a Switch minus one of its JoyCons. It's slimmer and the 5.5-inch screen makes the 720 pixel resolution look a bit sharper than the 6.2-inch Switch, but in some cases it's harder to read smaller text. So, interesting point here. So it's going to be about the length of a Switch minus one Joy-Con. So here we go, right here. Not bad, it honestly feels pretty good, it's not bad. I actually don't mind the size of the OG Switch, but a little bit smaller is actually fine for me anyway, so I wouldn't mind it. So continuing on here, the matte plastic and solid feel reminded me a lot of the recent Nintendo 2DS XL handheld. No detachable Joy-Cons means the sides of the Switch Lite don't flex or creak as much either, which definitely has been a problem on the OG Switch. The Lite feels bigger than Sony's dearly departed gaming handheld, the Vita, but I don't have one nearby to compare the two. The Switch Lite still isn't exactly pocket size, but it's a lot more jacket pocket friendly like the gaming Kindle. It's about the size, it's a little bit smaller than the OG Switch, but a little bit bigger than the Vita. Okay, pretty cool. And it's rock solid with pretty much the hardware build I expected. It feels like a cousin of the 3DS. The Switch Lite has most of the same internal Switch features. 32GB of storage, micro SD card slot, same volume layout, headphone jack, USB-C for charging, comes with the same charger that it comes with the original Switch. Touchscreen has same resolution, again it's a little bit smaller. It still has Wi-Fi and NFC, and it can connect to extra controllers. And it should also have better battery life, roughly 20 to 30% more depending on the game. The Switch Lite uses a more efficient processor that enables smaller heat vents on top of the system. Sadly, like the original Switch, it won't connect with Bluetooth and audio headsets. This is really cool though. So this, it's going to be more efficient than the original Switch. So if you're one of those people that is saying like, hey, Switch Lite, what's the point? I'd rather have a Pro. I think the Pro's still coming, so maybe we'll talk about that in another video. But this Switch Lite then isn't targeted towards you. It's targeted towards maybe more like kids or more people who play it portably. I play my Switch probably like 90% of the time portable. I hardly ever play it on my TV. So I'm really excited for this. Alright, so let's continue on here. There's also a new true D-pad on the left side, replacing a set of 4 buttons on the Switch's Joy-Con that offered those same functions. It looks like a better option for playing NES-type retro games, but according to Bowser, don't expect a D-pad on a future Joy-Con. He says there are no plans or nothing to announce in terms of further variations of Joy-Con. Yeah, so I don't think this means that it isn't going to happen. It's just kind of that standard like PR answer, right? He's just saying no plans and we're not going to talk about it at this time. I think they will probably at some point, but anyway, moving on. He got to play bits of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, and Smash Ultimate, and Mario Odyssey on the Switch Lite. It was a great test of the most demanding Switch games. They all looked nice and nothing seemed that cramped. So cool. So he's seemingly saying they all ran really with no problem, and the smaller Switch size didn't bother him. What I miss: switching and rumbling. The Switch Lite makes compromises to hit that $200 price, and some of them will hurt. First off, its non-detachable controllers mean you won't be able to replace them if they start wearing out. The Switch can't do any video output at all. The USB-C port won't work with the Switch dock. That means it can't double as a TV connected console, which is half the Switch's appeal. As a result, your only display option is the Lite's 5.5-inch screen, which also lacks an auto brightness sensor. So I originally, like, when they showed the trailer, I thought maybe like, oh yeah, it can't connect to the Switch dock, but maybe like third-party docks. But seemingly I would say no then, because what this is saying here is it doesn't output video at all. So there's going to be no way to connect it to an external, monitor. That kind of sucks, but again, this is tailored more towards portable. Nintendo promises that all handheld mode capable Switch games indicated on the software will work on the Switch Lite. You could play games like 1-2 Switch or Just Dance, but you'd have to pair Joy-Con controllers to that little 5.5-inch screen. Oh, and find a way to prop up the Switch Lite because it lacks a kickstand. So yeah, but here's the thing, like, I don't think it's that big a deal, honestly. And also, here's something cool. If you guys have a Wii U, if you remember, I have it right here with me. It came with this stand for the Switch, for the Wii U gamepad, right? I actually use this on my PC here a lot of times when I'm just recording gameplay from Switch, for videos and stuff. I put it right on this stand, which is really nice. So if you guys have your old Wii U box lying around, open it up and see if this is still in there, because you likely probably never used it, because it also came with another stand like this that you put it on to charge, which is a separate piece. So a lot of people never even use this. So take a look and see if you have that, because if you get a Switch Lite or even just your regular Switch, that's a nice alternative to the crappy stand that it comes with. But apparently the Switch Lite isn't going to have that kickstand on the back. So again, I don't think it's that big of a deal though. So he goes on to say, but the Switch Lite won't work with Nintendo's Weird and Wonderful Labo cardboard construction kits because it's completely different in size. So that's kind of a disappointment probably, especially since this is targeted more towards kids, and so is Labo. But I mean, I don't know, it kind of is what it is, right? The thing I'll miss most though might be rumble. The Switch has some capable haptic vibration in its controllers, but that's all gone in the Lite. It's weird to play Mario Kart or Mario Odyssey without rumble. It's doable if you pair a rumble equipped controller, but I doubt I'd do that. Does losing any of the switchable stuff even matter though, if all you're using the Switch for is to play games on the go and saving $100 in the process? Yeah, so he makes a good point there. I completely agree on that. And although I really like HD Rumble, most games don't even use it. It's just basic Rumble. Skyrim is probably the best case. I wish games used HD Rumble more. Skyrim does it really good with lockpicking and everything. But the thing is, most games don't use HD Rumble. And honestly, I picked up a Power A wireless controller for $40, so like very much cheaper than the Switch Pro controller. And I honestly don't miss the vibration that much. And again, this is meant to be played on the go. I just really don't think it's that big a deal, especially when you get to save $100. You know what I mean? Moving on here, a budget Switch or a perfect second Switch. I kept turning around the idea of the Switch Lite in my head. I love the feel of the hardware, and for $100 less, it stands to be an excellent gaming handheld. But the Switch Lite also loses the key transforming features that made the Switch magical in the first place. Maybe that's okay. And yeah, guys, I really think that's fine. I mean, remember the 3DS? They released the Nintendo 2DS. They got rid of the 3D part, which was the whole main focal point of the Nintendo 3DS. They got rid of the 3D, and that 2DS was targeted more towards kids. It made it cheaper, made it more durable. So that's the same exact thing they're doing here. The Switch Lite is targeted towards that same consumer. So if you're one of those people that is saying, oh, I don't care, or why bother, I'd rather have a Pro. Again, I think a Pro is going to come, but not right now. And that the cool thing about that is, like, since this Switch Lite is targeted at a different audience, they can release the Switch Pro at any time. Maybe not this year, but like they can release it early next year because it's targeted towards a different consumer. Here's the thing though, I'm going to pick up this Switch Lite day one because for me, I'm going to have both my Lite and my original one. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what's the point of that? Well, here's the thing. The Switch Lite, it's going to be smaller, so it's easier to travel with, more durable. Number 3, better battery life. All those things, right? That's cool. I'm really going to like that. I play my Switch mostly handheld anyway, and just being able to take something smaller like that, more durable, have better battery life on the go, that's awesome. But let's continue on here. But it could also be the perfect second Switch for a house that already owns one, like one for the kids or the gaming equivalent of a 2-car garage. You're absolutely right. I could see this fitting into a household where there are multiple players and one flagship Nintendo Switch. Nintendo's Bowser says. Yeah, so again, that's also cool. They're going to be, targeting households that already have a Switch, one OG or flagship Switch, and then maybe you have kids that you want to give your Switch Lite to, right? So that's the cool thing here. All right, so continuing on here. I could see myself wanting to take the smaller Switch on trips while leaving the household Switch behind, but then how would I transfer games between systems? Nintendo hasn't made it easy to do that, but there might be a solution coming. Yeah, so we can technically do that now, but it doesn't really work well and it's kind of convoluted and everything, so let's read what he has to say. Yes, you will have the ability to transfer between devices, your gameplay experiences. More to come on there, but that is the intention, Bowser told me. Could that be the multi-device account solution I've been waiting for? Maybe Nintendo has a plan in place to make it easier to switch Switches. Yeah, which is exactly what it sounds like. He says more to come on there, but that is the intention. So obviously that sounds like they're already working on it, and I really hope it's something that comes day one when the Switch Lite releases and isn't something that, comes, after the fact. But that is really cool. That is going to be a huge thing if they're able to like figure out a way to make this like more seamless between saves and just the games and everything and game sharing. That is so exciting. So let's finish up here. The Lite isn't a sequel to the Switch. It's more of a lower cost spin-off. It'll also be the only new Nintendo Switch hardware this holiday, as Bowser says the larger Switch won't get an upgrade right now, but maybe that's exactly what's needed. At the least, it's finally a lower price Switch. In exchange for that, you're losing the Switch part, but for many people that might not matter at all. Yeah, so again, Bowser says here, it won't get an upgrade right now, so seemingly there still is a Switch Pro coming. Like I mentioned, I really think that is still a thing. But I'm really curious, what do you guys think about all this? Like, do you care about the Switch Lite? Do you not care? Are you going to get one? Are you not going to get one? Would you rather have a Pro right now? I don't know. I'm really excited for it. I think I probably also would have rather had a Pro version first before the Lite version, but I'm still going to be getting that Pokemon one. I'm going to pre-order it as soon as the pre-orders go up. But what do you guys think? I'm really curious. Let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe for more content, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next video.